Hey guys, Blizzard Peak here. It's been a while since I've done a video, I know that. First, sorry about that. Yeah, just been busy and all, working and all that. And working overtime voluntarily because they're paying double time for overtime. So my last 2 hours, I worked like 54 and 55 hours, but it's pretty good. I mean, I worked 55 hours this week, but with the holiday and double time, my paycheck's going to be credited for like 88 hours. So yeah, that's great money. Anyways, I got something kind of different and new today. Like last summer or something, I started writing a book for the heck of it. Or last spring. I don't even remember at this point. I started writing one, then I just stopped. But I'm going to read what I have here for that book. So yeah, I'm going to do that. Let's flip the camera around. Or I could just read it like this, actually. It doesn't really make a difference if I show you the text or not. I guess not really. Anyways, yeah, I can just read it. Anyways, the title of the unfinished book I started is A Cold Blaze. When I left off at 2,312 words, so I did a few pages, but yeah. I'm going to read through this and let you guys listen. So, A Cold Blaze. As the sweat rolled down my forehead, the sun blazing above, the chatter of hooves hitting the dirt road, lost in my own thoughts, suddenly, the sound of a crash snapped me back into it. Looking around it, in the distance beyond the hills, a blanket of darkness, mixed with the occasional flash of light. Storm approaching, I said. Looks like it, commented Jack. We need to get the supplies and horses back to the barn soon. I nod in agreement. We pull up to the ranch, the fence in need of repair, the sign half broken, just making out the name Douglas Farm. Jack nudges me and says, Why don't you hop off here and inform Mr. Douglas that we've gotten the supplies he ordered? I'll drop them off and stable up the horses. I say, Sure, jumping off the wagon. As I walk up the front porch of the home, the rain just beginning to fall. Come on in, is what I heard as I approached the door, opening it to see Miss Douglas in the entryway, dressed in blue jeans and a plaid shirt. How was the ride? She said, while hanging a painting on the wall. Fine, I said. I went on. Ma'am, do you happen to know where Mr. Douglas might be? I am supposed to inform him of our return from Bailey's. I believe he is in his office right now. You should be able to find him there. Thank you, Miss Douglas, I said. I walked down the hall to the wooden staircase. The trip from Bailey's was pretty good. We did get everything from the general store as required. As I made my way up the staircase, hearing the occasional creak as I weighed down on each step as I progressed up, I glanced up to my left and saw the multiple photos of Mr. Douglas, some from his childhood to modern day. One in particular of him and another man standing together, holding skis with a massive mountain behind them, coated in snow. I had reached the top, making a right at the top of the stairs and walking to the end of the hallway, passing a few other doors until I made it to the end. I proceeded to knock on Mr. Douglas's door. It's open, Mr. Douglas grumbled in a raspy voice. I enter the room. The smell of smoke fills the air as I see him holding a freshly lit cigar. I take it you and Jack have made it back from the general store? Yes, we have, sir, I said. So, how is Mr. Bailey doing? Him and his family good? Mr. Douglas asked while the roll of thunder from outside could be heard. He wasn't in today, I mentioned. Is that so? He said, grumbling. I take notice out of his character, grumbling, and ask, Everything okay, sir? He lets out a sigh. before standing up and walking to look out the window overlooking the horse corrals. Monsanto is trying to buy up the farm. Corporate control is what it is. They want to take everything from us little guys, what I say. Well, I'm not going to sell. They've been buying off everyone. It's what they've been doing. First the Murphys, then the Johnsons, and now they're trying to take my farm, my livelihood. Mr. Douglas looks back at me and distinguishes his cigar on the desk. He continues on. Caleb, my boy, do you know why I don't just sell to them and take the money? Caleb, Mr. Douglas uses my full name. I always think he saw me and Jack as the sons he never had. He was also the only one to use my full name. Everyone else referred to me as Cal. I replied, no, sir. Why not just take the money? Monopoly. That's the reason. The reason they want my farm, and the reason I won't sell. If they control all the farms, they control the crops. And if they control all the crops, they control the food prices. A lot of good families around here depend on us for food. For food they can afford, or work out a deal with us. That's why I don't sell. People need us. I will continue to look out for them. Yes, sir, Mr. Douglas, I said. I was on my way down the stairs, thinking about what Mr. Douglas said about the farm. Cal, I heard my name. It was Jack, waiting at the bottom of the stairs. His shirt partially scattered with dark blotches from the rain from the thunderstorm raging outside. Everything going well, Mr. Douglas, he asked. I responded, yes, everything is good. Did everything go all right with the horses and supplies? Jack, hanging his hat on the coat rack, says, all taken care of. He continues, say, Cal, you're going to come with me to Los Angeles tomorrow, right? It's going to be the 4th of July, and we have to celebrate for sure. And we have to celebrate. For sure, I said. The next morning came. Jack had woken me up saying we need to get a move on. He was right. Los Angeles was quite the drive, and we would have to take the Jeep. Us being in the Tehachapi area, the higher elevation made farming much more possible, especially during the summer months. The lower elevations to the east, like Mojave, never would have been feasible. I got dressed, grabbed my wallet and bag, and made my way downstairs to the kitchen. Miss Douglas had breakfast cooking. The smell of bacon filled the room. Want some bacon and egg, boys? She asked me and Jack. We were hardly boys. Jack was 26 and myself 24, but I didn't really mind. Yes, please, we responded simultaneously. We sat down at the kitchen table. Jack pulled out his iPhone and checked whatever it was he was checking. You boys and your fancy gadgets, Miss Douglas said, while handing us our plates of food. Yes, despite it being 2016, Mr. and Mrs. Douglas weren't exactly up to date with modern technology. In fact, they didn't have a TV themselves. Only technology they seemed to have was a radio and a landline phone. They always said life should be experienced firsthand, not through some fancy gadget. That in person was real, face-to-face conversation. I understood. Grown up on a farm their whole life, it's always been small-town feel for them, despite Jack's attempts to try to show him his phone a few times and how it could make life easier for them. We finished breakfast and said our goodbyes, but not before Mr. Douglas caught us at the front door and said, I expect you boys to be back here to work 4 a.m. Monday morning. We'll be back on time, sir, Jack said as he headed out the door. I smile at Mr. Douglas and say, have a good weekend, sir, before picking up my bag and heading out the door after Jack. I caught up to Jack and threw my bag in the back of the Jeep and hopped in next to him up front. He said, ready for a wild weekend, my friend? I slightly chuckled and said, just nothing too crazy, man. We don't want a repeat of what happened last year. Jack continued, it's not my fault what happened. You were the one who unleashed the dogs. Yeah, whatever, he said. Let's get going. Just like that, Jack started up the Jeep and pulled out of the ranch onto the dirt road, which was partially muddy from yesterday's storm. Continued down it and made a right onto the paved road. We were on our way. After about 40 minutes or so, we were coming into Bakersfield, California. Man, I said, it's only 7 a.m. and it's already like 100 degrees. It's going to be a warm one today for sure, Jack commented. Hopefully it's cooler down in L.A. You said it. I said we were... You said it, I said, while taking a sip out of my water bottle. We decided to stop at 7-Eleven and fill up our tank. Jack went inside while the tank was filling about a Coke and a few scratch-offs. Those things are a waste of time, I say. You're never going to hit the jackpot, Jack replies. One of these days, somehow, some way, I'm going to be rich. I'm telling you now, Cal. Whatever, man, I say. Hey, the tank is full. Let's get going, bro. It's frickin' sweltering out. All right, he says, Rob presumably throwing away the losing scratchers in the trash can. So it began, our straight shot south down Interstate 5. After driving through the mountains, past Frazier Park and down Santa Clarita, Glendale, we made it. And I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be Interstate 15, so I made a typo, but on with the story. The large skyline of multiple skyscrapers included a U.S. Bank Tower, clearly visible on the clear and sunny day in L.A. The normal city smog, much lower in quantity today. So, what's the plan, I ask. Jack turns off the radio and says, I've got it all planned out, Cal. First, we're going to grab some drinks and food from the store. Then we're going to chill at the beach for the day, watch the fireworks show, then proceed to do some nightclubs for the remainder of the night. All right, my man, let's get going. So got going. We hit up the Target and got food, snacks, ice, and drinks, and we made our way down to Redondo Beach. First thing I notice as we pull up, the beach is packed. I guess a lot of people had the same idea for the 4th. Jack and I then proceeded to park the car several blocks away. Parking at the beach itself was nearly impossible. We carry our stuff and find a place at the beach. It was a good day, filled with jokes and laughing, hanging out with some other random strangers, throwing the football, going in the ocean, having some hot dogs, pretty much as good as a 4th of July as one could have. The sunset was pretty remarkable, setting over the ocean, followed shortly after by fireworks. Lots of people with their own, and lots of other things too, like kids running around with those poppers and some other people with sparklers and such. It was a great time. Next, we got back to our Jeep and made our way downtown. There were a lot of people still around and about as we drove through the streets, finally making it to the bar. We ordered our drinks and had a good time. The night came and went, and we made it back to the hotel barely before dawn, maybe around 4 a.m. I woke up to blinding light as the sun shone through the hotel window. I checked my phone. It was 2 in the afternoon. I mumbled Jack's name. Jack. I threw a pillow at him. I'm up, he said, getting out of bed. We got to get back. Going back to the farm, I told him. Already, he said. If we want to get sleep before work tomorrow morning, yes, I responded. Okay, then, he reluctantly agreed. We got all cleaned up and packed and left the hotel. Just like that, it seemed the weekend of fun was over. Heading back up north to the farm, not knowing what the future would bring us. Passing through the same towns as the way down, we grabbed some food in Bakersfield. Just a quick stop at the subway. A couple turkey footlongs, and 30 minutes later we were back at it. The sun was beginning to set, the sky filled with orange and yellow and red, quickly fading to dark as the minutes passed as we continued on our drive. As the mountains and night sky filled with... As we got into the mountains, the night sky filled with twinkling stars, the cool air in our faces, I must have drifted off to sleep. The next thing I heard was Jack's voice. Cow! 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 What? I said in a panic. Look! I did just that. and I saw a massive blaze of red and orange. The farm was on fire. Hurry, I proclaimed. Jack flared it down the dirt road in the direction of the fire. I think it was supposed to be floored, but same, which was lighting up the night sky. We pulled up to see Mr. and Mrs. Douglas and a couple other farm workers getting the cows out of the barn. I jumped out of the Jeep before Jack could even come to a stop. Are there any more animals that need help? I shouted over the loud crackling of the burning buildings. The immense heat of the fire was almost overbearing. The horses, Mr. Douglas proclaimed. We need to save the horses. I'll go get 'em, I heard Jack shout. Jack rushed over to the horse stables, which were already on fire. Don't, Jack, I heard Mr. Douglas yell. It's too dangerous. I can do it, Jack proclaimed, disappearing into the building, the fire engulfing the stables. A few moments later, several horses burst out of the inferno of a structure, running away from it and passed us down the road. But Jack never came out. I shouted his name and attempted to run into the building, but Mr. Douglas grabbed me, preventing me from going. He was yelling, "No, my boy. He's gone. He's gone." I could hear the hopelessness in his voice as I screamed out Jack's name a few times to no avail. Mr. Douglas pulled me back into the Jeep, said, "We need to get out of here, my boy." As we drove following Miss Douglas and the others down the road into the cold, dark night. Well, that's pretty much it so far, guys. Like I said, I started writing it, then I kind of just ditched it and haven't added anything for it for like 6 months or something. But that is what A Cold Blaze started out to be, and I don't know. I don't know if I'm ever going to finish it or not. That just might be it. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. Right now, it's just been sitting like that for 6 months. Maybe it will never be finished. Maybe someday I'll add more, but for now, that's it. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed. Again, sorry for not uploading a whole lot. It's been a couple weeks, but I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment down below stuff you'd like me to do in the future. Let me know if you like this reading of that partial story. And yeah, have a great day, guys. Thanks for watching. I appreciate all of you, and have a great Sunday.